Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to another video. I hope you're having a great day. Recently one of the brothers have asked me, as part of the community, and another brother that I actually normally talk to, and he watches my videos as well, and I know him personally. He asked me if I could have a look at, we always talk about when we're analyzing the stocks, we always go to Yahoo Finance, we only do like a quick overlook just to look at the the balance sheet, then we look at the income sheet and so on, and then at the end we just look at whether it's overvalued, undervalued, and we make a decision. But obviously, I've always said to you guys, just make sure you do your research before you buy in stock. And what he was asking was basically, what is that research? What do you really do? And that is really a long thing that I do. I literally look at everything about the business, and that sometimes takes me about a week or two just to understand the business and so on. Some businesses I already know, it's kind of straightforward. I understand the business model and I just look at the financial side of it, the longevity of the business and so on. But some businesses, for example, it's quite challenging to understand the whole business, and then you do research one day, little bit here, little bit there. So I just want to do a quick video today. I'm not gonna bore you with everything, but I'm going to show you where to find certain things and the things to look for and how to find them in the company's websites and so on. So the company that I've decided to look at today is Air Products and Chemicals. Probably one of the most challenging businesses for me to understand when I first started. And it took me for a very long time. In fact, I bought stock. I think I had about 2 shares or something, 2.5 shares, I think. And then I sold it straight after I made a little bit of profit, because I really didn't understand the business at the time. And I was finding it difficult to kind of get my head around, and I didn't have the time. Okay, so time was very important to me. So I said to myself, let me sell it. And if I see it dip later on, maybe I'll buy it. So Air Products and Chemicals is the company that we're going to look at. The first thing we're going to do is go to their main website. Okay, so this is, by the way, if you're wondering, this is the company, Air Products and Chemicals. They're currently trading $306 per share, market cap of $67 billion. So instead of using Yahoo and looking at this stuff, we will come back to this in a bit. But the first thing we're going to do is to go to their website, because you want to understand what the business is about and what they do. If you go to their website, straight away you can see they kind of advertising and telling you they now spending about $4.5 billion in Louisiana to do some sort of a hydrogen clean energy complex. So they're building their own, probably in this area. That's what they're building. And they give you the details, which is great to see, because the projected, it says here, the project is expected to be in operation by 2026. So then about 4 years from now on, that's going to basically add a value to the business. So it's a good thing straight away. That's a very good news. Then what we do is just go to the product. So just go to the company's website. So you're in here already. So just keep scrolling down and you will see some things about the business. So hydrogen for mobility and generating a cleaner future. And it talks about basically what the plan is for that. So higher purpose, including addressing the world's need for clean energy and materials while reducing environmental impact. That sounds good to me. Let's carry on. We've got a couple of more news in here. Okay, something to do in Canada. Now you can see the actual business model, sustainability, a sustainable growth for a sustainable future. They're talking about gasification, for example, carbon capture, hydrogen. Now, each section basically is this is their business model basically. So in here, what do? They are. Let me just actually zoom in so you can see it maybe slightly better. Okay, it says premier provider of turnkey solution is to convert hydrocarbon feedstock into synthesis gas for a high value product. Some of these things you're like, what does that even mean? You can do a Google search, find out what some of these things mean. Okay, and I will show you some of the, basically when it comes to gasification, I'll show you a diagram that actually helped me to understand when I first was doing this. Okay, then you got the carbon capture here, global leader of technical options for capturing CO2 from a fossil fuel conversion before it reaches the atmosphere, key to carbon capture and what is that word? Sequestration, whatever that is. Okay. Now, like I said, I probably selected the one company where I honestly, when I first invested in this company, I was like, what the hell do they do? And after a while, I kind of got used to it, and I now have an idea of what they do. And I'll show you a couple of more things. Right, like I said, I'm going to do a quick video, but these are some of the things I'm looking for. I'm looking at these projects that they involved. I want to see what business they are. As you can see, there's some sort of hydrogen fuel for automobiles or cars, if you like. Okay, so as you go along, you'll see basically what the business does. One thing I do then after I've got an idea of what the business does is, okay, I will go to the investor section of that business. This is where the company will tell you as an investor, potential investor, okay, what the business does and so on. So if I click read more, you can find out a bit more information about how the business makes money and so on, and what their plans are, how much revenue they made in the last couple of years, where the stock price is currently, and you've got a little bit more information about certain things, okay? And as you go down, you will see those couple of things, and it says, why invest in Air Products? And then this is create presentation, value presentation. If you click that, it takes you to this page. And this is it. So this is where they're trying to hook you by obviously telling you everything you need to know about that business. So forward-looking statement. So what is it that they want to do? Okay. Then they give you a little bit about the financials, and then Air Product at a glance. And this is where you probably want to see how big or small the business is. So Air Product today, so how much in terms of sales, in terms of employees, how many countries they involved, how many miles of industrial gas pipelines they have, production facilities, industrial services. All of that kind of gives you a basically glimpse of how big this business is. And then it says Air Product is a leader in the global industrial gas industry with, and then it gives you some more information about that. Okay. Then you've got a breakdown of the segments, so different segments. So fiscal year 2021 sales were 10.3 billion. Okay, if I can speak. In the Americans, it was about 40%. Europe, Middle East, and Africa was about 24%. Asia was 28%, and then basically global, okay, and other countries and so on, it was about 53%. So you can see a breakdown of where their income comes from. And to me, this is important, because if it was all about America, okay, all the American companies, then I'll be like, okay, so heavily concentrated in America, something happens there, the business might not be sustainable. But the fact that they are in Europe, the fact that they're in the Middle East, they're in Africa, they're in Asia, that tells me it's a great company, it's a global company, and obviously this kind of gives you emerging markets play, if you like. Okay, and then you've got breakdown of everything. So Canada 41%, 24% from Europe and Middle East and Africa. Then you've got China 19%, Asia 12%, Latin America 4%. So from that $8.9 billion of sales in 2020 came from here, basically. And again, is well diversified business. Then you carry on just to basically look at their financials, where it comes from, everything. And then you get to, and then it kind of just gives you the like, for example, the EBITDA margins. So from second quarter 2014 all the way to right now, and how that has been growing. Obviously, it has its times where it's down, but then again, it bounces back. And this is every stock. So one quarter, it might be up, and then the next quarter, it might be a little bit down, and then it shoots up again, and then it down, and then up again, and then massive down. Because remember, this is around 2020, so things were shut down. Maybe the business didn't do well, and then now it's about 36.6%. That's the EBITDA margins, okay? And then you've got a little bit more feel of how the business works, and then you see the Air Product adjusted EPS. That's 11% CAGR, okay, or compound annual growth rate of 11%. That's brilliant. Then you carry on and you see the dividends, okay? So how they 2014 all the way to right now, how they grown their dividends, about 10% CAGR again, really, really good. So this is the kind of thing I'm looking for. This is the kind of information that I'm looking for. Then they give you a bit more about the business and how it works. Then you've got different sections, management philosophy and strategy, what they want to do. And this is it for me. Look, our goal is will be the safest, most diverse, and most profitable industrial gas company in the world, providing excellent services to our customers. Perfect. Then obviously, if the numbers match up with this sort of a statement, then you should be happy with that kind of business. That's a business that you want to invest in. Absolutely. They talk about quite a few other things, but one of the things I want to mention is in terms of their business. So they got these three segments or three sections of their business, and then they go into a bit more detail of how some of these work, and obviously something called 30 by 30, whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest with you. Then they talk about the carbon capture, how they're going to do that. But the one thing I want to show you that actually kind of helped me is this, okay? This part here. So here you get, for example, coal, for example, and then they do something to it, and then it becomes syngas as well. And then you can use that for all of these things, okay? So let's have a look how it works. So you get a coal here. It gets feed into this. I'm a very visual person, as you can see. I didn't want to read all of that. And as basically they put in these things here and add all these chemicals, all this stuff, and then guess what happens? You get syngas, which you can then use for all of these things to power the steam, transparent chemicals, consumer products, hydrogen and refilling, and all of that stuff. So that is one part of their business model. By seeing this, I kind of have an idea. This is really genuinely one of the diagrams that helped me to invest in this business, because by looking at this, I'm like, oh, okay, so they're taking coal and then feed it into this, all of these things, and then what comes out at the end is something that we can use, okay, and that is good for basically for the world, if you like. And then they tell you the benefits of gasification, for example, and what it did in the World War II and so on. And then there's a bit more information. So this is 83 pages of information. Once you've gone through that and you have an idea, then what you need to do is look at the reports. Okay, so if you go to reports here, scroll down, annual reports is what you're after. You've got the annual report since 2010. You can look at just look about 2 or 3, but I'll suggest maybe start with the latest one. Have a look at that, see if there's anything that stands out. So they normally give you like a nice description at the beginning, what's happening in the business, the plans forward. They give you like a breakdown of, again, the things that we've seen already in the other details. So they give you highlights of what's happened this year. And then you got the breakdown of 2021, the 4 quarters and what happened and how much it was up and down and so on, and the net margins of all of this. So you can basically then compare it with, so once you've done this and you've gone through the financials, and again, all you're looking for is the company making profit? Are they actually, is their net income increasing? Okay. Are they spending on, because one of the things that you'll find in this is 134 pages. Okay. You might not read every single line, but the most important part is the 3 sections. So you've got the income sections. You've also have the balance sheet, and you've also got the statement itself. So those 3 things, once you've looked at that and you looked at those graphs which we've seen it before, okay, then you are kind of ready to understand. Basically, then you understand what the business is doing and where it is right now financially. Then you can read about any future development. What's the plan for the next couple of years? Okay, so then there's a lot more information in there that you can look at, that's going to help you in the long run. Also, the other thing you can learn about this is the board of directors. Okay, so who is in charge of this business company? What is going on at the moment? Who is basically leaving? How long have they been? Okay, the CEO of the company, how long has this guy basically been in this business and this company? Has he basically been with the business? Has he actually gone through from, I don't know, just being junior to all the way to being the CEO of the company? Okay, that is the kind of thing I'm looking for when I look at this. After I've done all of that, then I look at their financials. So now I know what the business is doing, how it's going. Then I go to financials in Yahoo Finance to kind of have a quick glance of the last 5 years, because looking at this can be just challenging. It can't be tedious and so on. So I like how this is laid out. Okay. So from 2018, you can see they were making $8.9 billion to currently $10 billion. Okay, their cost of revenue is going to be high because these companies actually do spend a lot of money producing all, because they have so many equipment, right? But they made profit, gross profit of $3 billion, from 2.7 to $3 billion. So it's actually growing. Then you look at the net income, and you want to make sure that the net income is actually growing. There might be one or two dips here and there, and there might be a reason for that, because sometimes what they might do is they might actually purchase a new company or buy something else or do something, whatever, or they pay a lot more, some of their debt and whatever, right? So this might reduce, and there's always a reason why. But you can see from 1.4 to 1.7, 1.8, then 2, and right now that's where we are. So once you've done that, then you look at the balance sheet to see if this company has enough cash in the bank, basically current asset, to pay off all the current liabilities. So they've got 8.3 against 2.7. So they've got enough. Okay, then you can look at shares issued, for example. So the last 4 years, they have not actually bought back any of their shares, but they haven't issued more shares either. Then you look at their cash flow here. Okay, straight away you can go into cash from operations and all that stuff. You can look at those things, but one thing I want to look at is straight away is the free cash flow. Now this company doesn't have a lot of cash at the moment, but it seems it's never actually had anything. It's always been below $1 billion. So again, they do pay some dividend, so you just want to make sure that dividend is safe. Okay, and one of the websites that I use to make sure that dividend is safe, first of all, is, actually there's a couple of more things I did when I was doing the research. Let's just quickly go back. The company has recently, I think it was around November, made a deal with Indonesia, for example, they made a deal with Indonesia for $15 billion to turn basically coal into chemicals. Okay, so that is a huge deal, $15 billion. That's probably in the next 10 years and so on. The other thing I did was I went to the UK and H2Mobility Program, which is basically a government section that is put together to make sure that we use basically the government to make hydrogen fuel transparent reality. So this is their goal. This is what they want to do. And I went to the website. I don't know how I came across this, but I did a little bit of research actually. In fact, I will show you how I did it. And one of the companies that's working with the UK right now is Air Products and Chemicals. So what I normally tend to do is I go into the companies, I just go into Yahoo, just normal Google, whatever, and I type the name of the company and I type news. And then this is one of the things that came up, that they made a deal with this, basically the UK government, and they are part of all of these companies that are trying to make hydrogen mobility basically accessible to everyone, probably in the UK. So yeah, that's one of the things that I did. Final thing I want to show you is, in terms of this company, is just their dividends, and you want to make sure the dividend is safe. And one of the ways that you can do is to go to Yahoo Finance, or you can go to Simply Save Dividend. And if you don't have access to this website, right now is 95%, is very safe. They're growing their dividend very, very fast. Okay, their dividends are now almost 2%. And that looks like it's safe, and they have been paying their dividend and growing their dividend, 39 years in a row. Okay, so they've been doing this for 39 years. I think they're going to go ex-dividend tomorrow, which means basically after that date, you wouldn't be able to, if you buy it today, you will still have access to, after tomorrow, basically, you're not going to get that 1.9% of that dividends, basically. Right, so that is kind of what I do, and there's a couple of more things, in fact, I want to show you. So you now have an idea whether that dividend is safe or not, and we've said it definitely is. Then look at their analysis and what the basically company is expected from the analysis perspective. So revenue is expected to grow 8% 2022, and then 6%, almost 7% in 2023, and then overall business growth estimate is current year 15%, 13%, 12%, almost 13% next couple of years, next 5 years. Then I just go into statistics to see margins, I want to look at the forward PE. I want to look at the PEG ratio. I'm not too worried about the PEG ratio for this kind of company because they're not high growth company really. Profit margin 20% and the return on equity 15%. Final thing, I want to make sure the company has enough money to pay off their debt because I'm worried about that, whatever. Okay, current ratio. The current ratio above 1 or 1.5 is really good. 2.9, almost 3 is perfect. Okay, anything above 1, it's good. 1.5 is perfect and above. Okay, so yeah, it seems this is a good business. It's Sharia compliant. Okay, straight away the business model looks good. They have enough money. Their product is great. They're making deals with other companies. They're well diversified. Right now they are 4 stars in Morningstar, meaning the stock price is 10% a discount right now. According to TipRank, almost 7%, no 6%. There's not that many analysts that are covering this business, but all of them agree, apart from I think about 3 or 4, that it should be higher than where it is right now. It's $306, but everyone almost agrees, apart from a couple that said it should be down a little bit. Okay, and according to Yahoo Finance, I think it was around the same. If we go back here, scroll all the way down here, you will see $325 per share, currently $305 per share, or $6 per share. Right, so that's all I do. But like I said, a lot of your time will be spent on reading up basically the 10K, going through these kind of things. Once you understand the business, the rest of it is kind of straightforward. Investing is not that easy, but you really have to do your research. Okay, you need to know like where you're putting your money to. I understand some of the things this company is doing, but I'm sure there's a lot more things that I don't know anything about this company. But I am comfortable to put my money on this company because I kind of have an idea of what they're doing right now. Okay, and yeah, the more I research about this company, the more I would learn definitely over time. But yeah, that's what I do, and I hope that was helpful. This was a video requested by one of the brothers in the group. Okay, so thank you very much again. If you like anything, if you find any value in this video or any of my videos previously, please just press that like button. It doesn't cost you anything. Okay, it just helps the channel as well. Assalamu alaikum, take care.